What's good, everyone, and welcome back to the Water Boys channel. As you know, it is holiday season. That's why I got my yarmulke on. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. But it's also playoff
Mhm.
time. That means it's the
Mhm.
playoff stretch. That means these teams got to take it
Mhm.
serious. So we're going to dive into our top 5 games of the weekend. The Chargers going into Cincinnati. I don't know if it's going to snow. If it does, ooh, them boys from LA going to struggle. But I still got to believe in LA. I mean, I don't know. They got way too much firepower on both sides of the ball. Cincinnati does as well. I don't know how their defense stacks up. I think this could be a game where Herbert and Burrow they go back and forth.
Mhm.
It could be a high-scoring game. It could be whoever has the ball last. But again, Cincinnati is very inconsistent as well. They'll have games where they slump, like against what the Titans, Jets, and things like that. They don't even score against like them. Like, come on now. But then they show out against the Steelers.
Mhm.
So it depends on what team we're seeing. But this will be the time of year where if Joe Burrow wants to make the playoffs, solidify himself as a name in this league, make that December push, it's this game right here. But I'm going to still slide with the Chargers because I just think they're an all around better team. Like I forgot, they got Joe Mixon, and you guys got the shittiest run defense. And I just feel like Herbert's got that potential to be an all star, and I'm waiting for it to come out. And then as well, you got Austin Eckler, you got Mike Williams, you got Keenan Allen. It's just too good on paper. I don't know why your defense sucks at stopping the run, but you stop the pass very well too. But Cincinnati can kind of do both.
I'm gonna make mine short and sweet, toot sweet. It's gonna come down to whoever has the ball last, and because the Bengals are gonna control the tempo of this game with Joe Mixon in their running, it's gonna come down to Herbie on a last ditch effort if we can squeeze it out. And I'm gonna say I believe.
We'll move on to our next one as well with two teams. They're on the decline, but they're fighting for those final seeds in the playoff. Actually, the football team actually holds it right now, which is crazy at a 5-6 record.
Mhm.
And the Raiders are slumping like crazy, but this is for anyone right now. It's in Vegas. How you seeing it?
I'm taking the Raiders. They've been playing very nicely here with a couple of games, but it's been spotty. So I think the Raiders are going to be able to exploit that, especially with the game they just had. Action Jackson looking like he had him a little some of Michael's secret stuff blowing the top off there. So I'm just waiting to see how much further it is they're going to be able to take it out there.
It's funny. Both teams they're on a little high right now. Like Tim mentioned, they're both spotty. They go up and
Mm-hmm.
down all season. But right now, they're both coming off huge wins. The football team, they look great. Even against the Buccaneers, they pulled off a win as well. And they're really showing out. They get Logan Thomas back last week, which is like a good point for them. So their main focus is on Terry McLaurin. But as well, the Raiders had a huge win I didn't expect against the Cowboys as well. But I don't know. As a more complete team, and I know it's in Vegas, I like the high that the football team's on. I think they can ride it and get that final spot. And honestly, they're still battling for the play for the division as well because yes, Dallas had a good win last night, even though it was against a slumping Saints team. But Dallas still doesn't look completely the same as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're only 2 games behind them. Them and the Eagles are only 2 games behind them. And if Dallas, which we're known, they're the same as the Raiders, they're known for falling down late in the season. If they slip, the Eagles and football team will be right there to take that division. So this is going to be fun to watch out for. I'm going to edge it for the football team. Just we got the Baltimore Ravens
Uh-huh.
going into Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Does Pittsburgh show up?
does Pittsburgh show up? They have been playing abysmal as of late, especially with that spanking that they just took. Let's be real. It's over for Big Ben. You guys need to go after
Oh.
Deshaun Watson. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If any team desperately needs to go
What
get
about Aaron Rodgers? That's a championship city.
Aaron Rodgers in a Steelers jersey, the entire weakness of that entire team is the fact that their O line is
Oh
garbage.
yeah.
So they would definitely have to be able to protect him. This is one of those heated rivalry games where whoever comes to play, whoever
Mm-hmm.
buckles up their chin strap and come in there to play is going to win this one. And the Steelers ain't doing it. I'm sorry. The Ravens is taking this. The Ravens are going to be able to come in and come ball out. John Harbaugh, coach of the year in my perspective. John, I said that wrong. Wait, I got what you? It ain't Jim. I said that right. I'm tripping.
You did say it
Yeah,
right.
Harbaugh for coach of the year. End of story. That
So,
dude has them set up
um,
9-3 right now with all the injuries that they've had, the decimation. and they're still looking pretty darn solid right here in the mix, even though they had some spotty play. But this game, Ravens, we got.
I give it to you, and of course I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Steelers are garbage. But I'll jump into your before I go into my analysis. I'll jump into your coach of the year because your coach of the year is probably the best coach of all time, and I think it's Bill Belichick and what he's done. Yeah, Harbaugh's done amazing
Mhm,
too, but to take a rookie quarterback, you have 1 year without Tom
mhm,
Brady. You don't really have a two complete team as what everyone envisioned. And if he can make a playoff run with Mac Jones, and then it's basically like the old school Patriots team when Tom Brady came
mhm,
in. Like he didn't have no crazy receivers. He had like a Troy Brown, David Patton, things like that.
mhm.
That's basically who they got now. And a Kendrick Bourne,
Balling.
Jacoby Myers. Those aren't crazy. They're not even big household names
Mhm,
either. But Bill Belichick knows what to do to make his team look good, and they remind me exactly of that '02 team, which is crazy. But I'll dive into this game. Um, like you mentioned as well, division, you could throw everything out the window. It doesn't matter how you played last week. It doesn't matter what your record is.
mhm.
It's who wants it more on the field. It's who hates more, and that's how it usually goes down to. But talent plays a big factor in it as well, and Steelers lack a lot of that. And I think Lamar could throw 4 interceptions again, and Pittsburgh will still keep him in the game, and Baltimore can win by a field goal. Do I see Lamar throwing 4 interceptions? It's hard to do that. It's hard. Like that's a once in a season type of thing. Can it happen? Sure, it can. With all the injuries, as decimated as they've been, they are leading the AFC. They're the best team in the AFC right now, and that they are for a reason. It's because they're well coached, and they find a way to win games. And I think they'll find a way to beat the Steelers. I think
Mhm,
it's just that easy. But now we're going to dive into more division. Actually, most of these have been division that we're going
mhm,
to end it off
mhm.
with. And we going with the Denver Broncos, the hot Denver Broncos. Tim know about them. Sunday Night Football. They got flexed into. They taking on my Kansas City
Mm.
Chiefs. Before I say anything, I will let Tim give us his two.
Gotta give credit where credit is due. Broncos, they have been showing up. Teddy Bridgewater looks pretty darn solid a lot of the time. See if they can try to get them to perform like how they were earlier in the season, but I don't really see it happening. Chiefs are starting to roll. This could be one of those games where okay, we got a divisional rival coming here. We always beat up on these guys. Let's go in here and let's go ball. Let's go have some fun. And these guys got their swag back. It's too late now. Chiefs are going to continue to roll. Watch this momentum, man. Watch to the end of the season. It's going to be ridiculous.
So, and I'll give it like what Andy Reid's really good at, and it hasn't been the same this year. He's good at starting a season and finishing a season, and right now he's finishing a season off pretty strong.
Mm-hmm.
If you would ask me a couple of weeks ago, or even previewing the schedule, I would have probably booked an easy win over Denver, but that's not such the case anymore. I do like how Denver is. I love their defense, and then honestly, this could be, I don't want to say it's a trap game because Denver is very alive in the playoff race, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
a trap game. But as well, it reminds me a lot of when we played the Raiders a couple years back, and actually last year I want to say it was, and they beat us. And then that was like their Super Bowl, and they drove their bus around the stadium, and they were so happy with it. Denver is really upset that they have lost 11 in a row to Kansas City. And if Kansas City does not recognize that, this team is going to fight. They're tired of losing to the Chiefs. And when teams feel that way and they treat it like it's a Super Bowl to them, it can be a surprising game for a lot of people.
Very true.
With that said, though, I feel like KC's already been up against the rope. They started off 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
They know they can't slack against anyone. They've pulled off 4 in a row. They know they can't lose. So I don't see them taking their foot off the gas here. And it's going to be a fun one. Travis Kelce hates this team. Like I want to say, which is a crazy stat, which I
Very
never
true.
seen before. He has 900 yards since 2015 just against the Broncos. If he gets 100 yards, he has 1,000 yards against this team. He loves playing this team and he hates them with a passion. I think the big factor will be to watch out too, which we saw a little bit as well, is Clyde Edwards-Helaire came back before the bye week, and this could be a mostly running game as well. I think there will be snow in this game, but Mahomes knows how to play in that. The big factor and the only reason KC has been winning these games, and which to keep your eye out because we said about Denver, KC's defense is the one who's been balling. They're the reasons why KC has been winning these games, and it could be a defensive battle as well. I don't see KC scoring a lot of points, but I see him winning a defensive battling game. If you don't think KC is your hottest team in the AFC, then you got to think this next team is. It'll be the New England Patriots. They're going into Buffalo. This is actually a battle for the division now. None of us thought we'd be talking this. We thought this was the Bills division. We thought, if anything, New England would fight for a wild card, but New England's leading that division, and if they win this game, they probably win this division because then they own the tiebreaker, and that's something I never thought I would see. But Tim, let him know.
New England, the Sith Lord, Bill Belichick has done it again.
That's not
The money that they dropped to get the pieces that they got, that defense, it's starting to click. It's starting to gel. It's full of veterans. It's full of
Matthew
guys.
Judon.
Judon. They were every penny. And I'm back here in the secondary. Jackson, yeah, worth every penny. That defense is looking what? Number one in the league. And then their offense on the opposite side, top seven. 6 in a row. Man, I think they can continue to roll in this. Now, this is the game that I think is going to be a more surprised because we all like you would naturally think this might be a lower scoring game. I think this might be a higher scoring game. I don't know why.
hmm
Definitely in the high 20s, maybe even 30s. And no one's thinking that because of how the defenses match up. But
I'm thinking it.
I'm, I'm,
I'm thinking the Patriots route them.
I'm thinking there's gonna be some fireworks here, man. It's gonna be something to be said. I think that defense is gonna be able to take away the one thing that left that they can do. Because let's be real, they don't have a running game at all. They don't even have to worry about it. They don't run with their running backs.
And what do we talk about Belichick all the time?
Mm-hmm.
Is he will stop your number one.
They
And
will
if your
take.
number one is Josh Allen, let's be real. Something what we've seen this year is he's starting. I'm not. He's inconsistent. He's
Mm-hmm.
shown he could be stellar, and he's shown he looked like a rookie. And man, that defense, you struggle against them. And Mac Jones gets the clicking on his game manager type of things.
Mm-hmm.
This could be a route. And it's crazy because like I remember seeing this game earlier and looking through everyone's schedule and I chose New England to win and I'm definitely sticking with it. But I thought it'd be a close game. With New England's defense the way they're playing and their offense the way they're playing and Josh Allen the way he's been way too inconsistent, he's just throwing the ball anywhere and everywhere. And yeah, that works sometimes, but it's not going to work against Bill Belichick's defense. And
Mm-hmm.
this could be a scary game. And
Mm-hmm.
if they win, woo, I hope everyone enjoyed that 1 year New England was off because it looked like they back.
And now they got who? Mac Jones, man. Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the year. It's. I mean,
Uh,
I want to say Chase,
uh,
but the way Jones has been keeping it solid, he ain't fucked it up like all the rest of the other quarterbacks.
definitely, if he takes them to the playoffs and he wins one playoff game.
Now, can they continue to win with what they got? That's the question. I don't know the Chiefs, and they can't keep up with them point for point because Chiefs can explode at any given
So
time.
the only thing yeah, that's very true. The only thing we'd have to see is which the Chiefs will test, and if it's Mahomes clicking back to the way he is that defense what it was when they won Super Bowls in 02, 03, 05? Is they won mostly their defense took them to the Super Bowl those years. Don't get it twisted. Like Tom Brady, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he is MVP caliber, but again, when those offensive teams from Tom Brady took over, how many times did they win a Super Bowl? They didn't. It was their defense, the ones that usually won it for them
Mm-hmm.
against the Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
against the Eagles when it was McNabb, not Nick Foles. Because you remember when it was Nick Foles, their defense wasn't so great, and it was Tom Brady carrying the team. When the offense has to carry the team for them, they struggle. But when it's the defense, even their first one against the Rams, who no one thought they were going to be in whatsoever, Tom Brady didn't win the Super Bowl. He game managed the hell out of it, but it was the defense who won those games.
Capped off with a kick.
And if their defense can stop Yeah, if their defense can stop the likes of a Kansas City offense or a high-powered offense, they got a good shot. Like they really do.
This is true. This is very true. I just want to see how they're gonna be able to match it up with it. They're gonna be able to get pressure on him, Judon. They're gonna have pressure in his face, and then they're gonna take away
Oh
his
yeah.
favorite target. You got Diggs, you got Knox, you got Beasley, you got you got pieces, but what you don't have is a between the tackles run game. You guys just That's a very important facet of the game, especially when it gets down to December and
That is
January.
definitely true.
Like December and January, having a
And they
run
never
game.
really
Gotta have a run game, man.
and it's funny because they replicate what they did like even in the running game as well. They've always ran with like three running backs, and none of them been crazy. I mean, people love Corey Dillon, but Corey Dillon was more of a star in Cincinnati than he was in New
Mhm.
England. But if anyone, it's Kevin Falk, and Kevin Falk. He's a good running back. Before I get New England fans hating me on that. He was a better receiving back, and that's what Bill Belichick loves.
I'm,
If
I'm,
Kevin Falk was just a straight up three down running back, he wouldn't have been that
I
amazing.
was referring to the Bills.
Oh, then yeah,
No, it's the Bills. Like that's their biggest weakness. They don't
the
have a
Bills,
running
you're
game.
right.
They don't. And everyone knows what
I
you're
think
gonna do, and
that's
it's easier to stop you when you know what you're trying to do. And then Josh Allen's biggest weakness is he does too much. Like he needs to know when
yeah, and
and
I
when
think
not to. He has other teammates, he has other things, but he lacks a quarterback's true best friend, a running back, so he can just hand the ball off and watch him run for the yards. But
and so what I think with that,
hmm,
what you mentioned,
yep,
like it's three things honestly with them. Their defense isn't as good as what it is on paper. Like I think they're not as legit, and I think they could get burned at any time, and they give up a lot of yards. I think the only reason their defense gets a lot of credit is because they get these turnovers. But turnovers is like a flip of a coin. You can get them one week and you won't get them the next week.
true,
And if you're giving up those
true,
yards, like
true.
you're gonna get burned and touchdowns are gonna happen. The second thing was the running backs. You can't depend on it. And if you don't have like Singletary, he's a good speed back, but he's not an every down back. And same with Zach Moss. He's a good power back, but he's not a good every down back. And it's kind of the saying you
Mhm.
hear with quarterbacks. If you got three quarterbacks, you got none. If you got a full running back room and you keep rotating them, like I feel it's the kind of the same. It just depends on the team because if you can't get a running back that can get his wheels running under him, like if you gotta give him two carries and then you put someone else in, it's like where's the momentum? Then he's gonna get cold on the sideline again. It's like, oh well, let's get another 2 yards. And then Josh Allen, like man, he hasn't been looking good. He hasn't been looking MVP material
Doing
whatsoever.
too
So
much,
yeah,
trying to be hero ball out here, bro. This ain't that, bro.
no, not at
You
all.
got
He's
10
got to
other guys.
learn.
You got 10 other guys.
He's got to learn how to manage the game a little better.
Exactly, but I think that's gonna come in due time.
Oh
And
yeah,
especially get him a running back that he can literally go put it in his stomach and let him watch him run for yards. It'll help. But they
yeah.
fixed that. But their defense always plays spotty mainly because it goes according to the performance of their front four more so than anything. They're vicious up front, and when they can get in the quarterback's face. They don't even have to always get the sack all the time as long as they're getting
Mm.
pressures. Their secondary is opportunistic, and that's how they get a lot of them turnovers as well. Strip.
I'm sliding with the Patriots as well, and that will be our final game of the week. Like I said, we have a lot of divisional matchups. We've got a lot of
Mhm.
exciting playoff matchups as well. So stay tuned because this playoff race, it's December. It's going to get fun, and be sure to stay tuned with us. So subscribe to the channel because we will keep you up to date on all the latest NFL news and rumors. And with that being said, peace.